Now, stakeholders in the Labour Party, led by the Nigeria Labour Congress, have called for the composition of a transition committee to take over from the Julius Abure-led leadership of the party. This followed a vote of no confidence passed by the stakeholders on the purported Labour Party National Convention held in Nnewi, Anambra State, which led to the return of Abure as national chairman of the party. In a communique signed at the end of a stakeholders meeting of the Labour Party on Monday in Abuja, the Transition Committee was asked to begin immediate probe of the Abure-led leadership of the party. For this conversation, we now turn to the Head of Department Information for NLC, Benson Upah. He will discuss the essence and legality of NLC setting up a transition committee for Labour Party and how that could restore peace in the party. Good afternoon, sir, and a warm welcome to Arise News.
Good afternoon.
Great. Now, let's get into it. Let's begin with the legality of the NLC being the one to set up the transition committee. Can you enlighten us on the constitution of the NLC and of the Labour Party and what gives the power, what empowers NLC to set up a transition committee to lead the Labour Party?
I will speak from the perspective of the consent judgment given by Justice Kolawole in 2018, which directed that there should be an expansive and inclusive convention to accommodate all the groups, interest groups in the party. I also speak from the perspective of the peace brokered by INEC in 2022, which also rested on the platform provided by that consent judgment. The two or three main items in the consent judgment are, first is that the Labour Party was promoted, registered by the Nigerian Labour Congress, clearly stated that they are the owners of the party. Two, that there should be an expansive convention. Abure, in fact, that should happen within a limited time frame. Abure acted in violation of this of the terms and conditions of the consent judgment. In 2023, he was reminded that time has lapsed. When are we going to have this done? And he replied, he said, no, let us give him a little time. This is not the time to do those things. I would say no. So from that time till now, Abure has been moving from one act of illegality and impunity to another. And we say enough of that, enough of impunity, enough of illegality. So Congress, of course, the owner says, this is the direction I want my car to face. I mean, who are you to question that? In the first place, Abure's so-called leadership came via an illegal process. You recall when Salam died, there were two deputies, Maria and one other, who were supposed to take over. Maria was lured into Benin. They believed that a formal pronouncement would be made about her chairmanship of the party, only to get to Benin to face a very awkward situation. Abure turned thugs loose on her and threatened her. And she narrowly escaped with her life. Abure pronounced himself chairperson of the party. That has been the situation. So even the route to Abure's chairmanship has been littered with corpses and illegalities. So, and then he also perpetrated that act of illegality by refusing to execute the terms and conditions of the consent judgment. Duty, responsibility, therefore, rested and still rests on Congress to do the needful. And through the instrumentality of the Political Commission of the Congress, the stakeholders were brought together. Those who directly founded this party and other critical stakeholders came together and said, this is a way to go. So we can't be held hostage by one single individual driven by inordinate ambition and greed. So our act is lawful, legal, whatever thing you want to say to it.
Okay.
That is the direction to go.
We hear you.
Abure should be held in fact, Abure should be held for deliberately and repeatedly acting in contempt of the court, spitting on the face of the judge. It wasn't that judgment was imposed, it was a consent judgment. So this is it. So we're on the right path.
All right, Mr. Upah. Now, when it comes to this transitional caretaker committee specifically, does the NLC have the authority to dissolve the current leadership of the Labour Party and impose that caretaker committee?
Well, I could have gone back in time to even go to the Constitution and all of that, but I just chose a brief route for you. That in the consent judgment signed by Abure and by all the stakeholders, it was agreed by the parties that Congress founded this party, promoted it, registered it. So the proprietary right resides with the Congress. And the other appurtenances of the party, that is those other structures of the party that actually make a party, some of them reside with the Congress. Okay? So it does have the statutory right to do what it has done. And beside that, duty, moral and proprietary responsibility reside with Congress to restore this party to the path of legality, path of social justice, path of political functionality. Okay? So it does have the authority to do what it has done. If it does not do it, who will do it? Abure that is in contempt of the court, in perpetuating evil and all of that, you're going to leave that to him? He's not even known to law as it is today. It's not known to law. It's not known to the moral code.
Now, I just want to recap. One of the last statements that you'd said was that Abure is not known to law and he's not known to the court. Now, I want to put forward a statement made by the Labour Party National Publicity Secretary, Obiora Ifo, who said that the caretaker committee in itself and anything it comes up with, that's your caretaker committee, is a nullity. So in this war of words, where does truth stand? Because it seems both parties are calling the other illegitimate. So where is the truth?
It is up to you to believe us or to believe Abure, whatever your motivations are. I have just cited an authority, an unimpeachable authority. I said Justice Kolawole in 2018 in consent judgment declared as follows, that the Labour Party was promoted and registered by the Nigerian Labour Congress and owned by them, that there should be a constitution of the BOT, etc. That was 2018. In 2022, and that there should be an expansive convention to accommodate all the parties. Okay? That that should be done within a limited time frame. 6 months, between 6 months, 1 year. Abure didn't do that. He asked for time. I would say, no, we're not in a position to vary the decision of the court. INEC brokered peace in 2022 on the same terms and conditions. INEC did not vary anything. In 2023, we asked Abure, say, look, enough of this hanky-panky. Let us execute the terms and conditions of the consent adjudgment. He pleaded for more time, only for him 1 or 2 weeks ago to organize a stealth convention. Now, a party convention is the ultimate of the meetings convened by the party, and it's usually preceded by world, local government, state, all those other things, conventions. The national convention is the last thing, and it draws delegates from the precedents before it. But Abure, an inordinately ambitious and greedy fellow, sly fellow,
Mr. Upah?
went and did that. Of course, yes.
We do have about
Yes.
we do have barely 2 minutes with you. What steps will be taken to ensure that
Good. So I'm telling you that all we have done,
final question.
all we have done is right and proper.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So please, what steps will be taken to ensure that this caretaker committee's decisions and actions are seen as legitimate by all party members and all stakeholders involved?
All the stakeholders were present, okay, except the renegade group, those in the payroll of Abure, the cohorts, the EFOs and the rest that are not even known to us. So every other person was present and continues to identify with this process. So it is not as if we are in contest with Abure and his group. No. Abure and his group are not known to law. They do not exist. Okay? And I tell you, quote me, that they have been in contempt of a competent court of jurisdiction. They have been acting disdainfully of that court. And who are they to spit on the face of this judge or the face of this court? So, the decisions and actions put in place so far are logical, coherent, lawful, and legal.
Right. Mr. Benson.
And we stand.
All right. Head of Department of Information for the NLC, Mr. Benson Upah, we thank you so much for your time and your contribution.